Welcome to your piano lesson. If you're here for the first time, I am Gianluca. If you want to discover interesting facts about me, you can watch the introduction video of the channel. I'm leaving the link in the description below. If you are interested in the content of my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'm aiming to publish 2 weekly tutorials. Now let's dive into the lesson. This is the third lesson about chord progressions, probably the most exciting one until now. In the previous 2 lessons I spoke about how to build up the chords, the triads. I spoke about the inversions. I explained which ones are the 3 primary chords, and I also mentioned which one is the 4th chord that I will be using and abusing at the beginning of this new journey, sharing with you what I know and what I've discovered about the harmonies, about the chords. Today we are finally indeed using not only the 3 that I've used in the previous video, the 3 primary chords, the one on the 1st, on the 4th and on the 5th of the major scale, but we are going to use also the 6th. I invite you anyways to watch the previous videos, because you will really learn everything about how to build up the chords, how to move them, how to connect them, so you will learn the ABC of the voicing. Obviously we are still using a very basic voicing based on the inversions. For voicing we can mean something that is much more elaborated. In the future you will start playing the chords, placing the notes in a much more interesting, complicated obviously, but much more interesting way. For example, not placing them very close to each other, like a normal basic trident root position or any of the inversions, but for example also in this way. It will depend all on how big is your hand, or for example we can do something like this, or placing them, dividing them in between the hands. But this is something that we will discover, and this is one of the most interesting meaning of voicing. But in this specific case, in these first lessons, when I talk about voicing, I refer to the inversions that we are using and how we connect 2 consecutive chords, applying the old principle of the connection of the chords. And it's the principle that has been elaborated, I would say, in the 17th century, and has been used then by classical music. Obviously, 17th century, you're talking about the beginning of Baroque music, then classical music, and then contemporary music, romantic and then contemporary music, including the pop music. Let's indeed now finally talk about these 4 chords, one on the 1st, on the 4th, on the 5th, and on the 6th. So we are adding, since you are working in C major, we are adding the A minor chord. And I will show you how to connect them using the same identical principle that I've used in the previous lesson, connecting the chords, respecting the notes that are in common, they have in common. Indeed, if 2 chords have even 1 note in common, we are keeping it pinning, so keeping in the same identical position and moving the 2 remaining notes. Even though you will see shown, played in this tutorial, I invite you to watch the previous one, where it's all very well explained. Let's dive into the lesson. So we said we are using the chord on the 1st, of C major, on the 4th, on the 5th. You know that I am never using in this way, moving them in blocks, using only the root position chords. But the one that we are using today is the one on the 6th, the A minor in this very specific case. And strictly applying the principle that I have explained in the previous video, now I will use the left hand in this way. I place the thumb on the C for the bass note, the 3rd on the A, 5th on the F, and 4th on the G. In this way I have all of them within the range of the 5 notes of the 5 fingers. And look what we can do now. I start from the root position in the right hand. I'm connecting C to the F, then to the G, and then to the A minor. So it means 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th. I play first and then I explain. What did I do? Moving from the 1st to the 4th, same as I did in the previous video. I saved the C and I moved up the following 2 notes, moving from a root position on the C to second inversion F. Since we said in the previous video that the F and G have nothing in common, obviously, because we had two chords on two consecutive notes, have nothing in common, they can't have anything in common. Now I'm moving from F in second inversion to G in first inversion. But now I want to go to the A minor. Also G and A minor, since they are two consecutive chords, they have nothing in common, and I'm applying again the same identical principle, the principle of the contrary motion. From G in first inversion, I am going to A minor in root position, and here we are, C root position, F second inversion, G first inversion, A minor root position. Before proceeding, I want to clarify a very important thing. I think that you might ask yourself, okay, but why are you teaching me to play the chords in this way? The chords with the right and the left hand with the bass. How can I use it? Let's clarify, let's simplify. This is the method that you can use to sing along. So you learn how to play your comping, your accompaniment, and then you sing. As I told you in the previous video, in the second lesson about chord progressions, many times composers, pianists improvising, they get inspiration by simply connecting the chords in this way. This is not easy to be found, I noticed on YouTube, this specific way of connecting. I am teaching you the most academic, the most powerful method to connect the chords, because it's easy to move them in blocks of triads, or moving from one position to another one, whichever is the inversion, randomly, not following any principle. I'm not saying that you can't do it, or that is not nice. Yes, of course, it's your choice, you can do whatever you like, depending on the cases. Many times I do the same, I like to move them in blocks, but I know why. I have a specific idea, I know what I want. There is a reason why I move them in blocks. And I keep repeating. So this is one of the most wonderful ways of connecting the chords, to sing along, then to start building in you up the awareness of the harmonies, how you can move the harmonies, which ones are the chords that sound very well together, so moving from one to another one, and you can start developing your composition skills, probably. You will notice that the melodies will come to you when you expect the least. It is also obvious that if you like to play the melody with the right and the chords with the left, it's a method that, to be honest, I've never really appreciated that much, but I can't stop you from doing it. You're more than welcome, so you can do what I do with the right, you can do exactly with the left. In my case, so following my method, you will learn that the left hand will always play anyways a bass. I will teach you how to move from a bass, single bass, played either with one finger, so one single note or one octave, to a chord. For example, what I like to do is exactly this. If I have to move from a C to F, I like to do, for example, things like this. And then to a G. This is exactly what I always wish that my students can do. Starting from simple bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord. But this is one of the ways. And then why not doing arpeggiato with the left? But this is one of the thousands of ways, and then even more, depending on the skills that you have developed. Obviously this is my way of playing the accompaniment. Not always in this way, one of the ways. Just to clarify where I can take you if you follow my lessons. Let's go back to the chords. So we stopped exactly at the end of the first chord progression using the 6, and I just repeat. C major in root position, F major in second inversion, G major in first inversion, A minor in root position. In this tutorial we will be using just this one, and then I will tell you what is going to happen next. Now, what can we do? Same as we did in the previous lesson. We can start from the first inversion of the C major, and look what happened. C major in first inversion, F major in root position, because I'm pinning the C that I had here, yeah? So, now, F and G, nothing in common, contrary motion. What does it mean, contrary motion? The bass goes up, the right hand notes go down. We look for the first available notes of that chord that we are looking for. If you are moving from here, this is F major, I need G, B and D. Now, the first available B, starting from the top, is this, and I use it. The first available G is this, and I use this one. And the first available D is this. That's why this is the position that I'm looking for. Root position, second inversion, same story. Now I have to reach A minor, and I look for the closest notes of that chord. A minor in first inversion. Once again. And why not the second inversion? It is obvious that you can choose then the one that you like the most. The one that sounds amazing for you, for that specific reason, for that specific accompaniment, for the song that you are going to play using those chords. And let's repeat again all of them now, one after the other one, and you will probably start understanding which one is the one that sounds best for you. From root position. From first inversion. From second inversion. Probably it's better if I invite you to think about a very interesting fact. Look, when you start from a root position, the last one ends in root position with the E as a kind of melody note. It doesn't give a sensation of ending, isn't it? To me it doesn't, maybe to you it gives. So, it all depends on the personality, on your personality. And look, if I start from the first inversion, what happened? The fact that we are ending with the root note of A minor, to me this one gives much more sensation of ending. Once again. Isn't it? And what if I start from the second inversion on the right side? I'm ending with the third of A minor, and to me doesn't give that much sensation of ending. That's why I might use not at the end of a big phrase, but maybe in the middle or at the start, if I'm composing a song. So I do it again. Die down, die down. They're all nice. To let you understand from now what you're going to discover with my lessons, we won't just explain and play the chords and how to connect them, but we will learn how to change the rhythms of these chord progressions, and also, as I said, how to use different ways of playing them, from enriching the right, enriching the left, adding then, to develop your composition skills, those that are called passing notes, auxiliary notes, turning notes, that are the three main and most powerful, obviously, elements, if you have no ideas, if you have no inspiration, that can help you developing your own melody. So anyways, I would really appreciate if at the end of this, if in comment to this lesson, to this tutorial, you tell me which ones you think are the songs using these chords. Not exactly in this way, but the chord on the first, on the fourth, on the fifth and on the sixth. In some of the following lessons I will tell you which ones are the songs using some of the specific chord progressions that we are using. Anyways, I would appreciate if you start analyzing the songs you like, start looking for the chords, and that you start practicing these chord progressions, connecting the chords in the way I'm suggesting. If it's the first time you're landing on my channel, thanks to this video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one. All the best.